this has probably angered me more than any match that you guys will have been angry about, was when the Hurt Syndicate pointed out that every tag team they faced hasn't been on TV. Where are the fucking Outrunners?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 43 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Dan, and for the first time, I'm without my signature lucha mask.
See your face.
Let's just say my deep cover mission to uncover the dark secrets behind AAA's rumoured sale to the WWE, the Evil Empire, didn't quite go as planned. Turns out what comes around goes around, so I think Conan's got a price on my head now. So I'm staying incognito, but I will let the lovely and beautiful co-hosts introduce themselves now.
I don't give a fuck about Conan. He's a prick. He blocked me anyway ages ago. He's a fanny. Tried to get him on the podcast and he said no. And then he said I was ugly. And then he said some of the worst insults you could, as in like the lowest possible intelligence level insults. It was ridiculous. It was like, you can do better than that, Conan. Come on, I'll give you another go. And then he said something else and I was like, you sound like you're about fucking 3. And then anyway, he blocked me then. And then Disco Inferno went to bathroom and he wouldn't come on either. So whatever, fuck them. Fannies. They won't find me.
What's the tally saying already?
Yeah, that's Andy.
Yeah, that's Andy. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Okay, I'm Lucy. Andy, pay your telly license. Okay, I'm Lucy, and I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure who Conan is.
That's fair, to be honest.
Yeah,
he's a barbarian in a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a decent one.
I'm wrestling, Mark, and I want to know if Ball Bro knows what we mean when we use fannies as an insult.
Oh.
You know what? No, I'm always willing to learn. It's like how you guys taught me early on that cunt can be an endearing term, you know, not just a general like insult. So please tell me how you would use fanny, like just in general.
You go for it.
I'll let you guys explain.
Oh God.
No, Andy. This is yours.
So okay, the literal sense is referring to some genitalia, but it you know, when we say you're being a bit of a fanny, we say you're just being a bit of an idiot. Like you're just like you're a bit of a tit as well. This is a similar sort of thing. Yeah.
Also fanny about, which means wasting time.
Yeah, fanny about means wasting time.
But I do appreciate the Americans' use of the word fanny, because the Outrunners have a fantastic fanny pack that I would love to get if it was on the European AW shop, but it's not. So I'm going to have to pay a lot of fucking postage for it, but whatever. Hopefully I'll have one of them by Forbidden Door.
Yeah, whereas in the UK, if you want to buy someone's fanny pack, it's going to cost you a little bit more.
It probably is. And if the Outrunners were in the UK, they'd be selling it as bum bags, which doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, that's probably sending you down another...
Yeah. Again, also in the States, you'd be paying a lot more for it.
It does not mean bottom in the UK.
No. That's all you need to know.
I'm writing that down.
Anyway, I can tell Lucy's got a lot that she wants to get off her chest, so I'm going to let her do that right now.
Yes. No, come on, introduce yourselves. Carry on.
We all have. It's just, I know, it's just, isn't it?
No, yeah, just me. Yes, the American Hero's back, Bald Bro here, and listen, I love learning just new terms from my brothers from across the pond. I'm very appreciative of that. I am not like a lot of the Americans that you read in the news or online over there. Like there are some of us who are actually have some common sense over here. We don't mind learning a thing or two over here, so I'm much appreciative of all that. And yeah, man, what a crazy time in professional wrestling, and God bless the union between WWE and AAA. They're gonna get that authentic lucha libre wrestling, you know, but they first have to learn English and learn to wrestle the American way. But that authentic lucha libre wrestling style, yeah.
Fair, isn't it, to be honest?
You're gonna have to come to me because I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me. Okay, can we just get it out of the way now? Have you all seen the only thing that matters in wrestling this week? Nothing else even happened as far as I'm concerned in the world. Have you all seen his video?
Certainly have.
If you have seen it, Brandon Cutler, the greatest wrestler of all time, has burned his beautiful tracksuit. And we are returning to the dragon gimmick. Now, see, I'm wearing it today. whether I keep it or not, I haven't decided. I might choose to inherit the gimmick since he's not using it anymore. Also, I am wearing my, if you can see, I couldn't decide which of my Brandon Cutler shirts to wear, so I am wearing both.
It's a beautiful evening. Why are you wearing 3 layers?
To All In August wearing this thing.
That was
I
brave of
have
you.
sweated for Brandon Cutler.
Was that not given to you at All In?
No.
No.
I bought this from fucking America. It got sent.
What was given to you at All In? Alyssa gave you something, didn't she? Or am I making that up?
Oh! Alyssa, my beloved, she gave me the most incredible thing that I own. She gave me a jacket worn by Brandon on an episode of AEW where he was beaten up by Darby Allin. The jacket still has Darby's makeup on it. Fuck you, Darby. I hope you get eaten by a Yeti on that mountain. But yeah, she gave me that. And this is how I met these guys, some of these guys. I accosted them in a pub and made them witness the moment of me putting the jacket on. But no, this was
Can I just say, we actually don't, as a podcast, collectively want Darby Allin to die on Mount Everest.
Yeah.
I want Darby to come back to fulfill the prophecy of beating
No.
John Moxley for
No,
the World Heavyweight
I'm
title.
not doing this. I'm not doing this.
I'll do it. All right,
Yeah,
well, then he can
don't
be
fucking start
menaced
this.
by a Yeti. Just a little bit of menacing. He doesn't have
I
to
mean, he'd
die.
love that. He'd probably love being like tossed around like
Yeah.
on a mountain
Yeah.
by a Yeti. He's probably used to
bring
it
it
with all of
back.
his matches with Brody King, isn't it?
Yeah, can we not just
Probably
dress
drop
Brody?
off one layer onto the next one onto one if he was given half a chance, let's be honest.
Can we not
Crazy
just dress
fucker.
Brody King up in a fucking Yeti outfit for a week?
Do it.
No,
Thank you,
that
Joe.
Stone Island jacket needs to stay. It's the hardest piece of merch ever.
Fuck that.
Mm.
Cannot get rid of that Stone Island jacket.
Excuse me.
Oh no,
But
sorry.
I will say we do need a dragon version of this. And Jazzwares, listen to me. If you make a dragon Brandon Cutler figure and you make it the limited again, I will come for you. I will find you, and my vengeance will be swift and brutal. Okay?
Yeah, that's
Can I put another disclaimer out that we do not
not
condone
us.
this violence on the podcast that Lucy
They
is
do
so
all
far
of them.
out
I
there.
swear on their lives.
Calm down,
Do
Liam
not
Neeson.
make the dragon version limited.
Aye.
God, you see, Brandon Cutler just needs to do something on social media, and Lucy has a breakdown.
Jazzwares, if you can, I do not agree with any of that, but all I do ask of you, if you can give me a Jake Hager figure with a MAGA hat, I think it will sell like hotcakes to a certain part of America. I'm sorry, I don't want it. Like, you know,
TK is a commie.
yeah, obviously, and yeah, Tony Khan in a Nikolai Volkov outfit. Go for it.
Comrade with a sickle.
Oh
I
goodness
would buy
me!
that. I
Oh,
actually
that's
want a Tony
visual,
Khan
huh?
figure with a neck brace, but
Oh, that'd be great. That.
No,
4 weeks today
yeah.
is Double or Nothing. So, shall we have a little talk about what we think is going to happen there? Because it does. Do you not feel that it's getting overlooked massively with All In on the horizon?
I do, but it's 4 weeks away. I think we'll start to feel it soon. I do get what you mean, because for a while over the last month, we leading up to Dynasty, we did have it was almost like there was a sense of Double or Nothing doesn't exist, and everything was about All In, and like Double or Nothing is one of the biggest pay-per-views. It's one of the
It's
4
original
staples. It's
pay-per-view
insane.
concept.
Yeah,
It's
it's
their
fucking
first.
crazy. It's
It
huge.
has been the weaker pay-per-view of the big 4 for like consecutive years, I think. Probably 22, 23, and 24. It was actually, I think anyway, personally, it was the weakest of the 4. But it's shaping up to have some fucking good matches on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to get a world title match, which is a very rare thing on AEW pay-per-view. I've no idea when the last one was. That didn't
I think it's a great idea.
Pardon?
I think it's a fantastic idea, though, because at the end of the day, we've all said we don't like predictable matches.
We know Moxie's going to retain.
Yeah,
know-
exactly. And we know that Tony Storm is going to be defending the title. Well, at least it looks that way to everyone, that she's not dropping that title before All In. And if she does lose it, it's going to be All In. I still don't think she loses it there. But it would be pointless.
She'll lose it to Mercedes at All Out in the main event, or maybe even Full Gear or Wrestle Dream.
It would be completely pointless to have Tony Storm and John Moxley defending the titles when we know what's going to happen. It would be a waste.
Tony Storm might defend it.
I just think it'll feel like the fucking Anna J. Mariah May match.
Yeah, he definitely will. But I
The,
just
the
think
the only one who I think Tony could realistically feud with is Statlander, which to me would be a bit stupid
too
because
short.
Statlander was in the tournament to get a title shot,
Yeah.
and she got knocked out of the tournament. So giving her a title shot seems a bit pointless. But to me, I don't know who else who she goes against.
Think
But
Mina
yeah, it
Shirakawa
is.
is the
That's
only
Actually,
true,
yeah,
other
yeah.
that's a good
option.
shout. That's a good shout, actually.
But
Yeah, I
that
hadn't
depends
She
thought
needs
of
to
that.
tell this
Mariah's
week, though.
doing.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it's
I think she will.
I think you're
I
right
think
about
she'll-
Mox not having the title match, but only if he's in some sort of other match, like some sort
I
of
think he
ladder
will.
match.
So
I think
this
the
is
main
it.
event- the main event is a shoe-in now for me. It's the Death Riders and the Young Bucks against Swerve, Kenny Omega, and the Ops. I can't see it being anything else but that now.
That to me, that's quite interesting because I made a few notes. I made like a sort of loose prediction as well. And if you have Moxley as the world champ in there, you have Okada possibly as the Continental champ, then you possibly have on Team AEW, you have Kenny Omega who's the international champ, and you have the trios champ. So that's 4 titles in the same match. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, didn't think of that.
So yeah, you almost think unless either Mox or Okada isn't like on the heel side, to me it does feel like Mox like is the most likely of the two to be in the match, which means Okada's probably going to have a match against somebody. But again, it's kind of like it's going to be a predictable kind of outcome.
Yeah.
But we know it'll be a good match, whatever the case. But I mean, personally, if we're talking like fantasy booking, I wouldn't mind like Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler, for example, and then the Young Bucks and Okada. So you have a team of 6 versus Team AEW of the Ops, Swerve, Kenny, and a mystery partner. But the mystery partner is, well, that's open to interpretation. We don't find out until the pay-per-view, and that's like a big selling point for me because out of all the possible injured names who could come back, Eddie is one of them.
Eddie.
Darby
Eddie.
Allen. Darby Allen, is that too soon
Eddie.
for Darby?
Too soon.
Doesn't it take like 2 months to climb Everest?
It
It's
said
only a base camp.
an experienced climber, I think, it takes 2 months. Yeah.
Right, so he could be even longer. Jay White, if he's fully hit, because I think his recovery time was only like 4 to 6
What
weeks
have
or
they said
something.
about Jay White? It's gone quite quiet with him.
Well, he's been.
I
in
don't
the,
think it wasn't bad, was it? No.
No,
It's-
I don't think he needed surgery, but it was on his hand. So I don't think
Oh, it's
it's
a broken hand. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they said even with surgery, it's like maximum 8 weeks. So
Yeah.
but again, it could be, Andy's favorite Hook could be on
Don't-
Team AEW.
But honestly, get the fuck. He should not be in that main event.
No.
But if we're saying it's a 6-on-6,
Yeah, the other one is a certain American Dragon who, I'm sorry, Lucy, he is the better of the 2 dragons.
I'm sorry, but if Danielson does come back like onto screen, like it would have to be at All In. With all due respect to Double or Nothing, you're gonna bring him back like for his first match back in almost 8-9 months. Like it has to be.
I
at All In.
agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I think it would be better. You're right, but he said this things about
if
I'm
Eddie is-
probably good. I'm probably done. It seems a bit coincidental, doesn't it? So
Nah, if Eddie is ready, Eddie is the perfect choice.
he's the most likely, isn't he? If he's going to be,
I
a
don't think
mystery
he's
partner.
ready. I don't
Oh,
think he's
yeah,
ready.
It looks like he's ramped up his
Training.
Yeah,
and
with
He-
Cesar
he's training
Bononi,
a
hasn't
bit.
he?
10 months from an ACL seems about right.
If I would, if I'm doing the fancy booking route for that match, I would have both sides have a mystery partner. So I'd have like 3-on-3, and then you could have the teasing where the Hangman's going to join one or the other, and him just not join any. And actually maybe, you could have maybe if he's fit Eddie, and then on the heel side you could have Jack Perry maybe, or the Warlord. As Wrestling Mark predicted last week.
I mean, I think, I don't know, again, going back to what we were saying before, I think it's worth touching on. I think we should have a 5-on-5. I do think it will end up being that. I think it'll be Swerve. I think Okada should defend the title because otherwise you're looking at literally just potentially the tags, the TNT title being defended. That's not enough.
And the women's title.
It feels that nothing has a remote chance of changing hands at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and that would be shite.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you could throw, it's something that I don't really like that they do, but I suppose if you need to pad out a few more title matches, you could throw it like the Ring of Honor title as a match. But again, it doesn't have the same sort of thing to it, does it?
Yeah, I don't want him to do that. Like, but if we say that the men's world title isn't being defended, and we think maybe they'll give Toni Storm a token match that we don't think she's going to win, whatever, which will feel to me like some of the defenses Mariah May had. So that means we'd have one title on the show. What about the tag titles? Who would we think they'd go against? The Hurt Syndicate.
So
The thing is, surely I can't look past us getting Lashley against MJF.
yeah, I was thinking that as well. Like, it's either that or they have a tag title match against somebody that we know that they're going to beat.
I don't
I
care.
think MJF has a trio by then. I think he's
Could
turned them
be.
down. He's got a trio to go after them.
Well,
Maybe
so
it's
for
FTR or whoever.
Or the trio
That could be a-
debuts at Double or Nothing.
FTR could be a really good one.
yeah, I mean, I'd love that. So, I mean, I think, you know, MJF's ulterior motive is a real talking point here. I think he's trying to infiltrate the Hurt Syndicate rather than actually join them. And
With the JAS.
yeah, after
It's-
a
In a
look,
circle,
JAS.
sorry, in a circle it was.
It's in a circle all over again, isn't it? It's the exact same story. And you know what? I love that, so I don't care. It was great.
yeah, and yeah, like, and I think like Garcia's face turn and return against FTR on Collision, I think that's all a ruse. I think Garcia's going to swerve the fans and he's going to turn heel again. But for now, and he'll align himself with MJ. That's what I think.
I think he has to.
Yeah,
He has to. His character
he's
needs something.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
think
getting
he
very
will.
lukewarm reactions now. I think he needs a heel turn to re-establish himself a little bit. And that match, I wouldn't hate the idea of Danny Garcia against Daddy Magic at the pay-per-view. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all.
I would like that I think do that on the pre-show.
Yeah, Zero. It's
Or depending on what the rest of the card is, give it that big show QT placement.
yeah.
Because it's going to be a short match.
Yeah,
Just have him absolutely fucking destroy him and then fuck off. The only problem is if he is going to come out with the Pinnacle or Dynasty, whatever they're going to be called, that gives it away too much if you do that before. Yeah.
It's
I
a
don't know.
tricky one to predict, I think. It took me a little while to actually kind of think of a possible card that you could have here, apart from the usuals, like the Owens. The Owen finals for the men, I think it's obviously going to be Ospreay versus Hangman. That seems like the most logical.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Ospreay Fletcher again so soon.
No,
It does seem
Yeah.
very soon.
And it's in Virginia, in Hangman's hometown
Yeah.
too. So
Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
yeah,
I mean,
Basically,
are we getting the old music then?
not
Not-
yet.
not
No.
here,
That
no.
way, that's all in.
yeah, that's all in.
All in.
That's an all in.
You
job.
got to keep that for all in. But you know what? I hear I actually like this situation with Double or Nothing because, like you said, we complain about predictability. You know, if where matches are going and the results and whatnot. Like besides right now, the two finals for the women's for the Owen for the women's and the men's, like we don't know what else is. We don't have a clue what else is booked right now. But like you guys said, we have about 4 weeks to go. So I mean, it just makes you, the viewer, pay attention to Dynamite and Collision to see where they're going. Like, I think we're gonna get something with Hurt Syndicate and MJF, something involved there. FTR, you know what? Maybe watch out for something with Christian Cage and Nick Wayne.
Yeah,
They're
good
building
shout.
they're building that story, and I think if you know what, if tensions keep brewing between Nick Wayne and Christian, where Christian feels like Nick Wayne's being too full of himself or whatever, don't be surprised you get a one-on-one match between those two at Double or Nothing. Maybe as a blow up,
Yeah.
maybe they'll tease it as like, you know what, you need some tough love, and then after the match we'll hug it out, we'll reconvene as a family. But then after that, that's where the patriarchy could turn on Christian Cage right there at Double or Nothing, and then you have about 6 weeks to build to All In, the eventual reunion between him and Copeland. So I say I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, keep building the tension between Christian Cage and Nick Wayne to the point where Christian doesn't like his attitude or he thinks he's too full himself already. You could do that blow off match, not even for the title, just be like, let's just scrap it out, and then afterwards we'll hug and we reconvene as a family. We go forward. Goes in for the hug, and then Nick Wayne, pow, right through the uprights.
I wouldn't be surprised if Killswitch returns at the pay per view.
I think before we do
shit.
Christian Nick Wayne, we do Kip Sabian Nick Wayne. Christian's like, go fix
Yeah,
your little brother.
I think so.
Which I would
think
love
that-
because I
yeah.
adore Kip Sabian.
I think
just
that
love him on my
happens,
TV all the time.
and I think Nick Wayne destroys him, and yeah, I think that's kind of that would push, because he's Christian's favorite now, isn't he? Christian's favorite has changed from Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne is now in the Luchasaurus position, and Kip Sabian's in the Nick Wayne position. So yeah, I would love that. And then he loses, but somehow Christian still manages to praise him for something he's done in the match and give no credit to Nick Wayne. Push it that way. It's the only thing with that is, how does Christian come out of that as a good guy or as a sympathetic guy? Because you would imagine Nick Wayne is the one who's going to be getting the sympathy coming out of this anyway. So unless they all just turn on Christian and fuck him over.
Killswitch, like Lucy said, what if Killswitch does come back on that night after the match and whatever, and then you just see him come out from the crowd or under the ring or whatever, just like you said, they all fucking just destroy him.
Yeah, because it's a tricky one with that, because obviously I think it's happening. I think it seems like it's happening, because the Cope and Christian run is going to happen this year, I do think. But either Cope's got to turn heel or Christian's got to turn face. You can't have one or the other. You can't have like half and half. But it's how you get Christian after being probably like the best heel next to MJF. In the entire company to suddenly get. I mean, he gets cheered because of how vicious he is in the.
It's an impossible situation.
Eventually, Cope's trying to get him to be this good guy or whatever. They have their match with FTR potentially at All In, and then after they've been the faces there, they can then turn heel and have a shithouse run for the rest of the year as a nasty heel tag team, win the tag titles, have a nice bit of fun with that for the year, and then sail off into the sunset.
One thing you could do is Christian demand a match with Copeland, because he's still obsessed with Copeland. That was his whole reason for, he said for calling his shot when he did and not sticking to the plan, was because he wanted to be Copeland. And like, you could have him demand a match against Copeland, or maybe Nick Wayne sets it up. I've spoken to Tony Khan. He's got you a match against Copeland, and have Copeland win, but then the rest of them start beating the shit out of Copeland, absolutely demolishing him, and Christian be like,
yeah, he's torn.
I'll go for the concerto on him, and Christian stops him doing it.
Yeah, that would work, because then, like, I do agree with you. I think Christian could stay in that, like, not a complete heel, but a dickhead. And I think Copeland could somehow be pushed to lean towards still being a good guy, but being a bit of a dickhead as well. Because let's face it, that's what they were when they were faces. They were dickhead faces. It was all about them just having a laugh and being dickheads. They would take shortcuts if they needed to.
That's what they do. I think Christian stays like a dickhead. You get Cope being like, you get a mix of Cope saying, I can fix him, I can make him better. And Christian's like, no, I can make him worse. And in the end, it's not Cope reminding Christian that he's a good guy. It's Christian reminding Cope that he's a twat. And
I thought that's
more fun when we just cause shit.
Do you know what? I thought that's where they were going when Malachi Black was feuding with him, because he was getting darker and darker, and it was almost like he was going to replace Malachi Black at one point. And that's what I thought. Yeah, this is how they're going to get to it. And then obviously he broke his leg and it all went to shit. But I'd like that. I'd like them to go down to where they're both dickhead. They could be the perfect tweener team, really. Dickheads, but the crowd loves them.
It's like they didn't go that route with him going all dark, because when he's this gritty, dark person, it sucks. It's not Copeland. I don't think it works for him. Like with Judgment Day, he was rubbish in Judgment Day. Like, he's much better now. Just be this arrogant, cocky twat for the rest of your career. Go out on that. Go out the way you started when you Christian first really got a push, and you were great on TV every week. Let's go back to that. Let's finish off on that kind of a high.
And bring back Captain Charisma.
Oh yeah, shout out. Yes. Are we going to get a Tyson Tomko AEW run?
Fuck off. He can sit with Jake Hager somewhere.
I need them at one point to break out the kazoos. They got to break out the kazoos and
the 5-second pose.
The kazoos, the 5-second pose. If this is their final, let's say they get the tag titles. If this is indeed like their final run as a tag team, give me the kazoos playing it in front of the live audience. Give me the 5-second pose. And one time as in a match, they got to dress up as Uno and Dos. Remember the gold luchador?
I was just going to say that, like, against FTR as Los Superanas. Do that.
Yeah, the Lucha Frog things they did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Because I was obsessed with the Edge and Christian show back when it was running. Give them that again. That sort of vibe, I mean.
I trust at least like the pieces involved in the story with like Christian and Nick Wayne, the patriarchy, and like Cope. Like, so wherever they go with it, at least I trust the characters and the pieces involved in it. So I think we'll be satisfied where we go for it. But like I said, I like the unpredictability of Double or Nothing, that we only have the 2 Owen finals that are set in stone right now. We got a month to go, but I mean, like I said, I actually like this level of unpredictability we have going towards Double, because we're looking at it as kind of a throwaway show, but you never know. Like I said, you could have a couple of crazy returns coming back. You could have, like you said, the break off between the patriarchy right there, setting the wheels in motion for the Cope and Christian Cage return. So I actually like this whole unpredictability going into Double or Nothing.
Yeah, the one question I did have, and this is one that I can't really figure out. Well, there's 2 things. One is obviously, if we're going to have a title defended, one of them is probably going to be the TNT title, because there's 4 titles in the Anarchy in the Arena match, possibly. And Mercedes is going to be tied up in the women's final, and she's not going to, unless she defends her belt on the show as well. I don't think that's going to happen though. But TNT, who do you have as Adam Cole's opponent if you have one? Because I've got a great match in mind.
I want Rouge, but I want Rouge to win the title off him eventually now. And I don't think that happens just yet. I think they have it a bit longer for him. So I don't know. It needs to be a match where you feel that Adam Cole could lose the title. I don't know what direction they're going to go in yet.
Rouge should be a good one, but I've told you guys my long-term plan for that title will be for Michael Oku to win it at Forbidden Door. I think that's...
Nice.
I think he's better than anyone who's held it for a long time, and I think that would be because Forbidden Door, we want some surprise. We it got to the point where the last Forbidden Door, the only title matches were AEW against AEW, because they're not going to change hands. So just fucking go for it. Stick the belt on Michael Oku or someone else, But I mean, the TNT is perfect for that.
It is. I would say my next TNT champion, I want Anthony Bowens, but I agree it's too early for Adam Cole to be losing it, so don't do Bowens yet.
Here's a prediction for Forbidden Door, fucking hell, for Double or Nothing. Anthony Bowens, not Anthony Bowens, my mind's gone blank here. Max Caster.
The other one.
I've got so many cogs on the moment. Max Caster does his open challenge. Brandon Cutler comes out, and it's the first one he wins.
This is why you're my favourite.
No, but there's no one who's a better loser. Like, the only person who gets over more losing than Max Caster is going to be Brandon Cutler, isn't it? I mean, that guy's made a fucking career out of just being
hasn't it?
It's like one of them. Yeah, one of them would be great.
If it's not now, Andy, my hopes are sky high. If it's not Brandon Cutler,
I think that'd be great.
Devastated.
And have Max Caster actually win a match. And then start to push on.
Fuck, Andy!
No, yeah. Have Max Caster actually win a match.
Do you know how old
You were
Max
doing
Caster
so well,
is?
Andy.
28.
35.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Rose is 34 as well. Sorry, that's a bit random, but yeah.
Yeah, we do not book Brandon Cutler to lose on this show.
Well, I think it would make perfect sense, to be honest. I don't know.
So for taking us back on course, I think a great TNT title match for Adam Cole would be Josh Alexander.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. Yeah, it'd be a good match.
I thought that's more of a TV one, though.
Well, because again, Cole's a face, and the Callis family aren't doing anything on the pay-per-view. If Kyle is going to lose to Hangman on Dynamite,
maybe Kyle Fletcher then.
Well, yeah, but maybe Kyle, but it's
no, didn't he?
This is it. You can't have Fletch lose, and Cole, I think, needs to have a TNT title win. This is a problem. I just think a match with Josh Alexander, his pay-per-view debut. What if he won it though? I mean, it'd be quite cool, actually.
Fuck it, Cole can lose, and then he can turn heel and join MJS new stable. We get Better Than You Baby back, and we get the title on Carl Fletcher.
I mean, I want that, but can I just shout out the Paragon coming out to End of Heartache again?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on the group chat all day, just say, because it's my favorite metal song of all time. It's probably the greatest metal song of all time. They're coming out to End of Heartache. I screamed as soon as I heard it.
I heard the first riff, and I'm like, oh shit, they brought it back.
It's such a good song. It's such a Killswitch Engage just need to stop being cowards and get Howard Jones back into the band and have them as dual vocalists. I'm sorry, they need to stop. Just do that.
Listen, if anyone from the Don Callis family is going to win the TNT title off the first rip, I think it's got to be Fletcher. I say he's ready now. I mean,
he suits the TNT title as well. Some people I look at some people and think you suit one title more than the other. He definitely feels like someone who could really elevate the TNT. Like, I'd be happy if he comes out, like, has a nice 10, 12-minute banger with Adam Cole, beats him relatively comprehensively, and then Fletcher can have a nice long run for 4 or 5 months for that title, defending it regularly.
and you already have a built-in story if Fletcher does win the TNT title at Double or Nothing. Because think about this, like Don Callis is already elevating Fletcher like to the top of the food chain in the Don Callis family. Like, he's basically pretty much the ace right now in a sense. But let's say he wins the belt, he's gonna elevate him even higher. Who's over here on his side, like kind of looking at him like, yo, what about me? You don't think Takeshita feels a little bit away, like what the fuck about me? Like, I'm just being kind of like tossed to the side, like it's all just Fletcher this, Fletcher that he has the TNT title. It does play into the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going to be in the G1 tournament during the summer, right?
Yeah.
Well, probably. I actually wouldn't be surprised because he's got the dual contract. Well, the triple contract, doesn't he? One's with New Japan, one's with AEW, one's with DDT. So he's technically a talent of theirs. So I wouldn't be surprised if he won the whole thing like this year
same.
after his showing. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if he won.
I wouldn't
love
be surprised.
But I think they need him more than AEW does right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the New Japan champion within the next 12 months for a long time.
Considering Naito's fucked off now, or fucking off, you know, they need somebody.
She's finishing up.
She's not got long left. You know, who else is there apart from like Shingo, Zach? Well, again, Zach's working without a contract now, I believe. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate, but I think
the Zach thing's mental. It's mad.
I don't
Like
see Zach leaving.
Same with Gabe Kidd as well. Like,
but they just don't. Sorry, mate. Go on.
It's all good, man. I think I think just a lot of the top guys just. They're not signed. They're not locking them down. Takeshita's signed, so to me, if I'm in New Japan, like I'm booking, make him a champion. He's a safe bet. He's not going to go anywhere, and it works for the AEW and New Japan relationship.
It's forbidden door, isn't it?
It's mad what they've done with Zack Sabre Jr. Though. Like, I mean, they don't seem to kind of have any loyalty with these guys at all. I mean, that guy.
Be champion.
He should be. They stuck the belt on him, and business didn't go through the fucking roof, and then they fucking they took it off him. Like, and the thing is, it's not a Zack Sabre Jr. issue that business didn't go through the roof. It's a New Japan problem at the moment. It's been a slow build back up. He was the perfect guy to hold that title, and to take it off him as quick as they did, I thought was a disgrace.
It was a bit mental, wasn't it?
And if he is working without a contract, that's fucking dangerous. And the same with Gabe Kidd.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand like putting the belt on Goto because he's, you know, it's a good story to tell because he's like worked his ass off for like all these years and never quite like reached the level that he's at now, and he finally won it. But it was really surprising. Like, it was just so sudden.
Yeah.
Like, I did not expect Zach to lose the belt like that quickly. It felt like his reign hadn't like properly started.
It hadn't. Well, how long was it? It felt like a couple of months, to be honest.
3 months, something like that.
Yeah, he came over, did the show here, Royal Quest, which was amazing. One of the best shows I've ever been to. Like, seeing Zach, and then back, and it seemed like no time at all.
Yeah, because he did Rev Pro the day before in Doncaster, and maybe it was the people weren't singing the right chants. I don't know. Maybe that's what fucked it up for him. I don't know. They didn't look at the rule book.
Were they chanting anything about TNA by any chance? Because I think that's forbidden.
I think that and Yorkshire tea are the two forbidden ones, to be honest. But
he's from the Isle of Sheppey. He doesn't quite appreciate the Yorkshire brew.
I don't write the rules, so you know.
Missed something at Rev Pro. I'm still sulking about that. By the way, my tyres were fucked up and I couldn't go.
Well, it's all good because
Conan.
I blame Conan. Yeah,
I blame Serpentico, honestly. But yeah, we're going to make up for progress.
I'm not saying too much because Conan's put a hit out on me, so I'm not saying anything.
These are funny.
When I find out who he is, I'm going to be scared of him, I'm sure. I'm sorry, I wouldn't know the guy if I met him in the street, but yeah.
But yeah, No, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like Double or Nothing. I think that, but Ricochet maybe fights Speedball Mike Bailey in a singles match, possibly. But is that not
For
like?
that.
I mean, I'd love it. I mean, because they, it sort of carries on from the Kevin Knight
feels
story that
that-
they're telling.
If All In's going to be the one when a lot of stories come to a conclusion, this one should just be a pay-per-view, 8 matches, and it fucks hard. Like, Hangman, Ospreay, fucking. Mercedes, Hater, fucking. Anarchy in the Arena, all the fucks. A TNT title match, you chuck that in there. Put Speedball and Ricochet, give them 15 minutes to go batshit crazy. I'm all over that. You've got to have something with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, if that's one-on-one with Lashley, or if by then he's got a partner and that's a tag title match, all over that as well. This will just be proper. Tony Storm defending the title, proper graps, then get a women's tag team title tournament started the following week and have the finals be it All In.
I would love them to do that.
I'd love that, actually.
Yeah, Ty's got to be coming back soon. We need TJ back
We're
together.
getting there. There's so many potential places.
This is a good point,
They put this in place quietly, I think. But I thought there's one time I thought this before. It felt that they were putting a few like chess pieces in place to get this tournament started, and nothing happened. It feels now that it feels like it's a must, because All In is going to be a fucking massive show. We're going to get a 12-match card. We're hopefully going to get Athena, Mercedes, and Hate of Your Storm. You need like you want the fight. You want a tag final that's going to be Statlander and Willow against. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's not going to be Mariah and Mina now. Clearly, well, relatively clearly
versus Bane and Ford.
Who?
Versus Bane and Ford.
There you go. That's perfect. You've got that just seems to make sense to me. If you start the tournament early, I mean, it will be quite obvious, but you can have Mercedes and Harley in that tournament, or Athena and Billy. They can be costing each other in the early rounds, so they're not going through to add to. I don't know if that would make sense when we clearly know they're going to be on the All In card already, unless Mercedes says, "Fuck it, I'll pull double duty on the day." But I feel you've got 7 weeks of TV. We've got 8 shows still till Double or Nothing. That's a lot of TV time. So we've got 16 hours of editorial for them to build up to Double or Nothing, to give us a few matches we probably aren't expecting yet. Then you've got a long period. You've got the whole of June, the first half of July. That's a perfect time for a women's tag team title tournament, man.
I agree.
Perfect time.
I agree. Yeah.
I do agree. I completely agree with. I'd love to see a women's tags, because I'd certainly prefer it over the Continental belt that they've just sort of
it's
fucked
happening.
over with.
It's happening right now, like in front of us. If you saw Collision last night, you had Anna Jane squash match, and then Penelope Ford and Bane took her out. So obviously Anna Jane needs help. So I assume Ty Conti's coming back relatively soon. Then you have Ty J reunited, and like, how many tag teams, Mark, did you list off last time? Like 8 or 10. 8 or 10.
I didn't save the document. I was sitting there scrapping up. So by then, you can have Athena and Billy Starks in it. You could have Tay J in it. You could have Diona and Ty Valkyrie in it. You can have Mercedes and Harley in it. You can have Julia Hart and Sky Blue. If she's back by then, she should be returning pretty soon, I think. Statlander and Willow. You need 2 more teams here.
I throw
put them in.
Well, I throw in a CMLL team and a RevPro team.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I throw in a bunch more.
A couple of Cutthroat Collective.
Yeah, why not? Do it.
Yeah,
Make it a 16-team tournament and have it go across
Holly
all
Barlow
the
and Lana
promotions.
Austin, the team we all dream of.
Absolutely.
They should do that.
Yes.
Yeah, do
they
Cutthroat
should
Collective, Alex Windsor and Lizzie Evo. Do it.
I think I agree, that would be fucking brilliant. I think though, with you mentioned Ty Valkyrie and Diona, I think they'd probably go with Tyra and Lady Frost, to be honest, because they've been fucking great together in CMLL.
Yeah, they've been doing bits. I don't think the Vendetta are a thing anymore.
Wasn't Taya replaced by Billy? Isn't she injured or something?
Yeah, she was injured the other day. Yeah, but I think Billy looks injured now as well, so it's a singles match and next match. But Lady Frost has been killing it. Honestly, I'd love to see her get a chance, because she's been doing so well over there. Some of the shit she's doing, and like for someone who's a Ring of Honor talent, she's doing fantastic work representing AEW over there. So fuck it, get her involved and give her a bit more of a chance on the main show.
Tag team as well.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh no, we forgot about the most prominent team.
Do Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
we forgot about the most prominent team out there, man. Come on,
it's
Thunder.
all there. Like AEW nail tournaments. The tournaments are always good. This is right there in front of you to crown new champions at your biggest pay-per-view on home soil ever. Fucking do it. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
I think the honor would probably fit more with Britt Baker, to be honest, as a tag team.
They're real mates. They're real life mates.
That's what I mean. And like, unless there's no plans whatsoever, it'd be a good way to get the two of them back on TV because
How dare all of you mention all these tag teams and you don't mention Thunder Tits? You don't mention
Thunder Tits.
You don't mention.
We're sorry, Brett.
You don't
I'm
mention
so sorry.
It's the greatest tag team name of all time.
I think the only problem is that one of them is going to be on Busted Open discussing the WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
No, it should be good. I'd love a women's tag title tournament. I mean,
Same.
They think, so I'm trying to think, because what they have done and what they've done with this Owen, which is what I quite like actually, is that they've established the finals quite early on, well, at least one of them. The other one will be decided on Wednesday. So you've got 3 odd weeks to flesh that kind of out across now. So there's another time to get another tournament started so that there's another story being told about like the early stages of like some of the preliminary matches, like they did at Dynasty, where they had like 3 of the Owen matches on the actual card, and it was great.
Well, I think as Brett said though, they've already started fleshing this out anyway. I mean, the big one for me, the one I really want to see happen. I don't know how they can do it because of the rest, the other wrestlers involved in plans for it. But it's Mercedes Harley. It's clearly going to that's the American version of Lana and Holly, isn't it? It's essentially like she doesn't like her. She's annoying the shit out of her, but she does kind of really like her a little bit. She's warming to her a bit. The puppets getting over with her, and no, it's great. I that's the one I want to see. But like I say, I think because it's Mercedes, unless she's going to do an MJF situation and have 2 belts, I just don't see them going that way because clearly she's going to be involved in the world title sooner rather than later. Like she has to be because it's Mercedes essentially. You want her on that title ASAP.
Yeah, I mean that's something I think like after All In, after her eventual rematch with Athena, assuming that let's say she does lose that TBS title at All In, you could revisit the tag team of her and Harley. Maybe Harley's the one that comes around to comfort Mercedes after she loses the belt with her and Minnie Monet and all that stuff. Like that's a story you could come back to whenever, like after she's done with the Athena feud. But
you don't really want her to transition straight from the TBS title into the world title picture.
No.
Ideally, you give it a little bit of breathing space, and then again, the tag team champions are crowned at All In. Mercedes is down; she's lost her titles. Harley tries to pick her back up. Let's go for these. Hell, have that. You can have that at Forbidden Door. Mercedes and Harley be the new tag champs. That would be a fucking very overmatch with a UK crowd as well. And then after that's not gone well, then Mercedes can probably turn on her properly, beat her up, go full on heel again. Then you can go into Autumn feud, the Tony and Mercedes, which leads to finally the women main event in the pay-per-view in AEW.
It needs to happen. It does because especially Tony and Mariah, like that feud. In hindsight, it's easy to say it should have main evented Revolution because it was better than that main event. That we got between Mox and Cope, but I kind of understand putting it where they did. But if there's one time where you look retrospectively, you think that was the golden one.
100%.
The whole perception of that pay-per-view changes completely because that pay-per-view was fucking brilliant. But the main event, if that's in the middle of the card and you have Swerve come out afterwards and then it's happy ending sort of there, you've got 3 matches left and it finishes with that. That pay-per-view is thought of as an all-timer with AEW.
100%. I think we said that, didn't we? The match was actually, it wasn't as bad as we made out. It was all right. It wasn't anything great. It was just there, and
it followed 3 all-timers.
Yeah, its positioning killed it more than anything. And I think, like you say, if that's positioned further down the card, it gets 5s, maybe 6s at a push rather than getting the 2s and 1s that people were giving it on Cage Match. So if that match preceded that 3-match run, then I mean the pay-per-view was still amazing, but it was obviously brought down by just a really underwhelming main event.
Well, I don't like to weigh too much on Cage Match ratings because everyone's opinion is different. But we all have matches that we absolutely despise, don't we? I think Meltzer broke the Meltzer scale on the opposite end not long ago with the Minoru Suzuki and the Butterbean match, didn't he? And I watched it, and I can see why. It's not. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite match of all time, though. I think there's a lot, but there's lots of moving parts. But
Didn't he give it the Fahrenheit and Celsius scores for
yeah,
absolute zero?
pretty much.
Was that
pretty much?
That was the
Pretty
gag.
much. I mean, it was bad. I'm not saying it was good by any means. It was bad, but it was kind of like a real. It was a real sort of moment where you realize, holy shit, because everyone lost their minds when he broke the scale for Kenny and Okada, and then retrospectively, now it's all kind of like a bit up in the air. But it used to be just fives maximum, but now it's like minus like 459 or something like that now. This is absolute zero, isn't it? But yeah, we all have matches we don't like. So with that in mind, I thought, why don't we just go around the room and just say like our least favorite match and why? I'll go last. So someone take the floor.
I don't have any least because I blanked them out. Honestly, I don't. Probably any Fed
Must be
match
one that
would be in there.
frustrates you. That
No,
just
I have many worse matches I can throw in here.
There isn't, honestly, because I just don't care about them enough for them to bother me. It's like, yeah, it's shit.
there's not been one where you've been like looking forward to it and it's just really let you down.
Not
Nothing
really.
like
I
that?
just move. I
I
on.
got one.
You know,
I got one.
I'll give you like a shit match that everyone didn't give as much shit as it should have got. Is probably the Usos match at WrestleMania. When they did 9 million super kicks, that was
I
shite.
think that got enough shit. That was
But it should have, whatever it should have got more. And they also every WrestleMania main event for like the last 4 years has been shit. But for some reason, because it's Mania, they give it a fucking extra couple of stars on top. Like the one last year with what was it? Fucking Reigns, Cody, the blood and Roman.
It was horrible.
Bloodline rules. It was shit.
Match. Last year, it would make Undertaker being there just discredited that match completely.
None of it made any sense. If you did that in AEW with the same outcomes, and you had say, I don't know who you would compare to the Undertaker. Hopefully nobody. But if you had someone come out and
Sting interfering in Hangman against Moxley.
Yeah, it went and the crowd going ape shit and just being like, yeah, cool. Just because it's an event, like it's stupid. It was shit. But no, I don't. There's no, like I say, you guys can all take this because there's no match I actually hate that much that they play on my mind. They're shit. Move on.
I admire your ability to be so adult, Andy. But go on, Brett. I want to hit yours because
Fucking first, innit? Like fucking hell.
Well done, Andy. That's growth.
very, very good.
Growth.
We are not as mature as Andy, so come on, Brett.
Okay. Correct me. What year was it in Wrestle Kingdom that we got AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura? Was it 13 or 14?
I should know this. I think it was 2015.
Yeah, it was
No,
2016.
2015 or 2016.
Because
I
that
can't
was right
remember.
before AJ jumped to WWE.
It was 2016 then. It was
All right,
2016.
So whichever Wrestle Kingdom that was, that match was amazing. That match was great. Of course, that's not my pick. That was an amazing match. I am going with their WrestleMania 34
WrestleMania match, yeah.
Their WrestleMania 34 match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. Here, and the reason it pissed me off so much was just because of that Wrestle Kingdom match. Because it's like, you see that match, you see an all-timer between AJ and Shinsuke, and it's like, holy shit, we're about to get that. I'm a fucking moron for thinking I'm gonna get that level of match at WrestleMania between these guys, because there's nothing for me to think like we're gonna get anything less. Especially the crowd is on an all-time high because that was a couple months before Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. I mean, that night it was Shinsuke and Asuka winning the Royal Rumble, and then they both went on to lose at WrestleMania. So yeah, it was just a frustrating night in general. But yeah, that match was it was fucking awful. Like it was just yeah, it was so fucking slow. It was so plotted. It was just it wasn't even half as good as their Wrestle Kingdom match. Like, and then Nakamura, of course, like I said, lost, and then he low blows AJ Styles. Then a horrible heel turn, a heel run for Nakamura. It's been pretty much downhill for Nakamura in my opinion in WWE since then. Like he has been far underutilized since making his debut in the main roster. It doesn't matter whether it was Vince or Triple H. I mean, he's been undervalued, underappreciated. I mean, the last time he got a decent push in WWE was when Okada was a free agent, and they gave Shinsuke that push in late 2023 with Cody, but people didn't see the vision like I did. They only gave him the push to lure Okada over to WWE. When that didn't work, it was fuck off with Nakamura for months on end. And yeah, WrestleMania 34, Nakamura and Styles.
Yeah, I agree. It was as a fan of their Wrestle Kingdom match and all their other like New Japan runs. Like, I was really looking forward to it. But again, I gaslit myself into thinking that it was going to be anything but a disappointment, because it was. And you're absolutely right. I think they just totally killed it. But that's not what I was going to say. But I'll let Lucy take the floor for the moment, because I think she's got a good one.
Okay, yeah. I generally try and be like Andy and not dwell on the negatives in wrestling, but sometimes a match just stays with me and I'm still furious years later. And this one is the worst match of all time, not just because of the match. It wasn't even a match. It's what it represented. And it was the 1999 Women's World Title WWF match between Deborah and Sable. It was an evening gown match. With JR, Jerry Lawler, and Shawn Michaels on commentary. Shawn Michaels is the commissioner at this point. Jerry Lawler says puppies no less than 6 times during this match. He just starts yelling puppies. This is the era people want back. Jerry Lawler jerking himself off at ringside, squealing puppies. No, if you want that back, fuck you. So it's announced as being for the World Wrestling Federation Women's Championship. Deborah comes out in her evening gown. She does look absolutely stunning. She's beautiful, but immediately Shawn and Jerry start talking about, oh, that dress would look better on the floor by the bed. So Sable comes out and she's got Nicole Bass with her. And if you don't know about Nicole Bass, she passed away in 2017. WWE treated her appallingly. Go back and read up on that because it is atrocious. And they immediately start talking about, oh God, she's ugly. She makes your dick shrink, calling her a big dude. They keep referencing her as a man. And she's a former bodybuilder. Really talented woman, but yeah. So then they get in the ring. They have a little shimmy. Sable's not even wearing an evening gown. She's got a coat on over a bikini. Then Val Venus walks out in his stupid towel with his stupid face and causes a diversion where Sable comes up behind Deborah and just pulls her dress off. And that's it. This dress has like snaps on. I mean, if I was in an evening gown match, I'd fucking staple that thing on, but no. It comes off with like the slightest breeze. The bell hasn't rung. Not one move has been done, but the match is over. They announce that Sable's won the title. Jarrett wanders out, smacks Venus with a guitar. Shawn jumps in the ring, tells Nicole, step off, mister. She squares up to him and I'm like, please punch him. I've never wanted anyone to punch someone as much as I wanted Nicole Bass to punch Shawn Michaels in his smug fucking face. But so Shawn announces that the rules have changed, and because with puppies like that, the rule should be that the woman who gets her dress taken off should be rewarded with a title. So he announces Deborah as the new champion because she got more of her tits out than Sable did. And that is how we determine women's champions now. It's who shakes their tits the most. And it's valuable because they haven't seen Deborah's before. They've seen Sable's in Playboy, so she's not worth it now.
Maybe I crave Andy's ability to block that out of my mind.
Yeah. It's fine. No, Sable gets over it like right away and they all just have a bit of a dance.
It's crazy how normal that was. Like it's mad.
Very mad.
Whenever anyone slags off a women's match these days, and like one match I could have said that was bad was probably the Deonna Anna Jay one recently from a 0 hour. That was bad, but you're just fucking thankful that it's not anywhere like that. That women's wrestling's actually. Yeah, women's wrestling has actually moved on to a stage where it's arguably, I know we spoke about this earlier, better than the men's in most of it at the moment. Yep. And I think you were saying, Mark, that in your view, the top 20 women's wrestlers are more interesting than the top 20 men's at the moment. So considering, when people forget just how bad it was awful. It was terrible. It wasn't wrestling. It was fucking bizarre.
Get your tits out, win a title. Because Shawn Michaels, who everyone loves right now, is praising. They forget the talk about him drugging women and all this bullshit.
They forget a lot of shit about him, yeah.
NXT is pretty good right now, so it's fine.
Shawn
Michaels decided, no, I like her tits. She got them out. She's the women's champion. Can you imagine if they tried that now? Not even with the women. Fuck it. John Moxley. fighting Swerve, right? Well, which of you gets your arse out? Lovely.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Yeah.
If they can't redeem it, they need to reenact this. Redeem it.
It is astounding,
please
isn't it?
stop.
How a lot of people now obviously say clamour for the attitude, like the feeling back, like the restore
was
the
bad.
feeling. Well,
Hated it.
they forget
Bad
how
TV,
much of
man.
it was so bad. Like you watch it now and you think this is rubbish.
It was
This is
bad.
absolute-
It was a product of its time. It was cringe central, and it only worked because we were just absolutely overloaded with cringe central on every fucking channel at the time. It was Jerry Springer was what kicked the whole fucking thing off.
Steroids.
Yeah,
So they took that formula of car crash TV. And it captured the time. It just captured the time when a lot of young men that were probably born in the mid '80s were just horny teenagers. America seemed to have a lot of the same kind of twats in every single crowd each week, just thirsty, horny, lonely white boys. And it worked. It made them a lot of money. The product, I was said young, horny white boy. It worked, like, for my age group, it was shit. The match quality was shit. The storylines were nonsensical. Everything was half-assed. The matches were all 3 minutes long. It was not good television. The same way Jerry Springer wasn't good television. If you think it was good TV, there's something fucking wrong with you. It doesn't mean it's not entertaining for you in that moment. It was. But if they tried to put the Attitude Era on TV in 2025, it wouldn't work. Not just for, they're cancelling it, everyone's sensitive. It wouldn't work because it was fucking shit.
well, people forget that the reason WCW fucking went downhill in the end was because they were trying to match what WWE was doing, so they were copying, and it was just like a worse version of shit. And
yeah.
when people talk about WCW 2000, it's not. What's bad about WCW 2000 is it's all that shit. Everything they did was that shit. They turned the best big man in wrestling into a 70s guy, and then a few weeks later, because that didn't work, they turned him into a guy that walked in the ring with large women. That was the thing, the fat chick thriller. It's fucking incredible that they thought that was a thing people wanted to see. When that guy's fucking, look at the matches the guy had in ECW, they're fucking insane. And then they said, oh no, it won't work. What we've got, we're sticking in some 70s clothes, yeah, let's go. Fuck off.
It was garbage. People love to say now, oh, you would never have survived the Attitude Era.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
My hobbies include collecting vintage video games, wearing comfy shoes and peeing before I leave the house just in case. I lived through the Attitude Era. I didn't fucking like it then either.
No,
I wouldn't survive the Attitude Era. I'd fucking switch the fucking thing off. It's shite.
It really was bad. But it's, yeah. I mean, we
So
have one
I do
person.
care about that one.
You could probably pick fucking
people to blame for that.
You could probably pick 20 matches from the Attitude Era. Now, if I think back, that shit. It's just like say I've forgotten about most of. But one that you guys did remind me of there, talking about that era, was when WCW were trying to match WWE, and they decided to fucking give Scott Steiner this weird gimmick where he wrestled in a cage, and it was it looked like a fucking bird cage. It was a weird fucking thing that wasn't even the size of the ring, and it came down. It was in the ring, a little dome, like a fucking miniature version of the Thunderdome, a Lego version of that. And he wrestled Tank Abbott and his brother at one point in some of the worst attempts at fucking like wrestling I've ever seen. Shite. So there was loads. You go back through that era and pick fucking loads out. So I think you're cheating by picking one from that era out, actually. So
it's mad. I knew this would come out of you eventually, but
It was like therapy. It was all gonna come flooding out eventually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the one person who I associate with all of that, because I'm going to lead into mine now. This is a seg, actually. So the one person I tend to really attribute a lot of that car crash TV is one Vince Russo, who, if we're lucky, is going to be fucking off forever now and not talking about wrestling anymore. So we can only hope. But anyway, no, I blame him and Bischoff and Hogan for this one. It was the Victory Road 2011 match between Jeff Hardy and Sting. Now, when we talk about that match, it's not just one of the worst matches ever. It's not even a match, really. It's quite personal to me, actually, because at the time, I pretty much checked out of WWE. In fact, I checked out a long time before that. I was frustrated with the product. I was sick of just Cena winning all the time. I was sick of just the crap TV. And I just really wanted TNA, because they were the next biggest sort of alternative at the time, to just make a good go of it. I wanted them to be the alternative. I wanted to believe that this company with guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle and yes, Jeff Hardy at the time could be something special. But instead, they handed the keys to fucking Hogan and Bischoff, two guys who had already proven they couldn't promote their way out of a fucking paper bag when it really mattered. So Victory Road 2011 was the moment where it just all changed for me, basically. It was when it wasn't just the fact that Jeff was actually like in just no condition to perform. It wasn't just the fact that the match was a complete farce. It was what it represented. A company that didn't care enough to protect the guys in the ring or its legacy or the fans who paid money to actually be there. It was pure negligence, and it made it impossible for me to ever take TNA seriously again. And at the end of it, I just checked out completely. I remember I watched that. I said, I'm fucking done. I literally cannot like. And then there's Sting as well, one of my all-time favorites, a guy whose career had been about being the glue that held WCW together through the worst of its times. And there he was, trapped in like a no-win situation, forced to pin a drugged-up Jeff Hardy in a minute and a half. It's a blemish on his career that he didn't deserve, and it should never have touched his legacy. But you know, I do feel so sorry for Jeff Hardy. Like as a kid, he was one of my heroes. He was the daredevil, like, you know, someone who should have been a megastar in the Fed, but who never quite reached the heights he deserved because of his demons. And watching him at Victory Road, it was just so disappointing, and it was heartbreaking, because deep down I wasn't even angry at Jeff. I was just so sorry for him. You know, sorry that he was out there when he just clearly needed help. And the saddest part, like that wasn't like the end of his struggles as well. Like Victory Road wasn't like a one-off. It was a very public, very ugly chapter in a battle that Jeff had been fighting like his whole life. So yeah, that's why I hate it, and it will just stick with me as a point where like wrestling forever like just changed for me. And then yeah, I've never watched it back. I never want to, but whenever people bring it up, I just, you know, I'm reliving like all the heartbreak that I had at the time. And it wasn't really until I discovered like New Japan, like because it was more accessible at the time, sort of in the early to mid 2010s, where I actually started to really enjoy it again.
Yeah, that was, to me, it's if that had been Sting's last run, it would have been absolutely devastating, I think. Yeah, nobody deserves an unblemished legacy more than Sting, and yeah, that was not good for anybody involved.
No.
There was no winning situation there. Letting Jeff Hardy go out like that, Sting could do nothing except what he did.
Like, absolutely. I mean, yeah, but somebody just had to. Somebody had to make a decision somewhere. You know, when you see Jeff Hardy in like that situation, you just, if I'm somebody in Gorilla, I just say,
he been let go through the curtain.
Exactly.
How?
Yeah.
Like
exactly that.
Was everybody, did everybody go to a bathroom break at the same fucking time? Because like you said, you get into the building, you go to the locker room, you change. He gets the face paint put on. Like no one putting on his makeup like looked at him and said, "Yeah, he doesn't. He's not here right now. Like the lights are on, but no one's home. Like nobody could have gone to Bischoff or whoever's in charge right now. But even if they told Bischoff, what the fuck was he gonna do? We already seen enough inept leadership at that point to know that how much confidence do we have in him. So it was a failure on all points. Like, yeah, obviously Jeff, but like you, Dan, like, you know, I was more disappointed in a sense. Like you said, this guy could have been a potential big star in WWE, but like I said, because of his demons. But that's just one of the guys you grew up. Like, okay, we talked about the Attitude Era earlier. Like, yeah, it was a lot of shit, but what did shine was him and Matt, the Hardys, and other tag teams like that. They shined through all the bullshit through the Attitude Era. So obviously, when you see Jeff at that, you have flashbacks of him, in those awesome TLC matches and all that stuff. Like even him win the world title, even the feud with him and CM Punk in the late 2000s as well. And then to see him come out to ring in 2011 Victory Road, and it's like I said, it's a failure on all levels throughout TNA. And like yourself, like how. Not just yourself, I can imagine how many other people saw that, like, yeah, fuck this, I can't take this company serious anymore. And like yourself, like I was pretty much checked out of WWE at that time. Like it was the rise of Daniel Bryan in the early 2010s, like 2010, 2011. Like he brought me back to WWE because like he's just he solidified GOAT status for me with his AEW run, but like he brought me back. I love a great underdog, and he's the greatest underdog in my opinion in wrestling. That's the guy I will always root for. Like
the WWE are the underdog at the moment.
But don't punch down here.
At that point. At that point, it was. But
no,
yes,
just
today,
you're saying you root for the underdog. Just.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, not fucking Nick Khan.
Yeah, no one loves
and
an
those guys.
underdog more than me.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah,
Yeah.
WWE obviously are the poor.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's telling of a bigger story, and like it wasn't the first or the last like time like wrestling through one of its own like to the wolves. Really, like Jake the Snake Roberts at Heroes of Wrestling, which is a blemish on its own. But Jake Roberts in particularly was just so sad to see. Scott Hall, it happened a few times. It was one of the reasons why like Dallas Page, one of the true like good guys in all of like that era, like the true like absolute heroes that like wrestling has needed for a long time, actually saved Jake's life. Like Jake admitted it, like he saved his life. Like Scott Hall, he unfortunately Scott is no longer with us, but for a while Dallas was really taking care of him, and it showed. And he was able to go to the Hall of Fame, and he was able to like actually have a bit of a life again. But even so, yeah, these kinds of battles, they're bigger than wrestling, man. Like just don't, in an industry where you're meant to be risking it all essentially, and in storyline you're putting your life on the line as well. But some things are just like way bigger. Nobody should ever be in that situation, and that was like, to me, was one of the worst examples. So yeah, but I'm just glad, I'm glad Jeff was able to recover enough to get another TNA tag title run. So good for him. It's good for him. At the end of the day.
To be fair, the Hardy, I was gonna say, if any of you watched the Hardys, were like, I know Mark hasn't, but like they're actually with Leon Slater, they're actually doing all right. Like Leon Slater's covering up for a lot of stuff that the Hardys can't do at the moment.
Well, hasn't Jeff just been menacing a Nemeth?
Yes.
With an umbrella.
I forgot about that. Stupid. He looks like he should be in that fucking Willy Wonka experience, doesn't he?
Yeah, he.
I'm not sure what that. I didn't watch it all. All I've seen is just the clip of him.
Yeah,
I saw the clip,
stupid.
and he's
getting
dancing.
down with his.
He's dancing like to a horrible sample of Kendrick Lamar's "They Not Like Us." Like it's like a horrible like house techno mix of they're not like us. It's entertaining. Listen, if that's what they're doing now, then I'm fine with the Hardys. Like it feels like that this is their final run. This is their closing segment right here. Like you said, Leon Slater is covering up for a lot of.
He's doing a lot of great stuff for them, and he's helping cover up for a lot of stuff they can't do. So they are actually putting on like passable to decent matches at the moment.
Yeah,
which that's what they should be. That's how they should be used.
Mm-hmm. I just hope like if this is their final run, just it's clean, it's easy and easier. I just hope it's a nice, secure on the way out. Like no more incidents. Like I just hope they feel fulfilled at the end of the day.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
for sure. Right, Mark, go on.
Can you top those?
Can you top that?
I think you probably can, to be honest.
A dark turn.
I'll probably run, but I don't know if it'll be as thorough or as deep as that. I've got to go for two here. One was Kofi losing to Brock on the Fox premiere of SmackDown. I hated it. I was there at WrestleMania 35, saw Kofi win the title. It was amazing, great match. Mm-hmm. And then they gave him the shittest, most half-assed title run throughout spring and summer. And then it ended like that. And that was the point that my wife just said, I don't want to watch wrestling anymore. She kind of checked out that day, which pissed me off. Like, that's one reason I hold it against, because it meant I started watching on my own, basically. And that was just before, obviously, AEW rocked up with Dynamite a few weeks later, I think. It was just insulting. It was a shit title reign. And it just sucked. There's that. Anyone got any thoughts on that bit? On that one?
I mean, I hadn't watched it. I hadn't watched it for a long time, but I did see, and it was very much like just very telling of the times, wasn't it? Like how they only did it just to get that Mania moment and just give him, put him in the record books essentially. And then they was like, okay, well, he's just gonna, we're just gonna wait till Brock's available, when his contract says he can work, or one of his contracted dates, and just give him the title again, just because it was a. So that was always the plan. It was just how they went about it was very disrespectful to Kofi, wasn't it? So
they just used Kofi, and then isn't that when Brian said he knew he was done with him?
Mm,
like I'm sure
probably.
I've heard that somewhere as well.
I'm not sure, but like Mark, I was at that WrestleMania also. I mean, don't get me wrong, great moment. It was a great match with him and Daniel Bryan. I mean, of course, it's fucking Daniel Bryan. I mean, you could have a great match with a broom, but not to say that Kofi's bad or anything. But it was a great match. It was easily the highlight of the night. I mean, let's be honest. Besides that match, I mean, the rest of the night was pretty forgettable, in my opinion.
It was long. It was a very, very long night.
It ended at fucking midnight, 12:30, like fuck, over 7 hours. So people complaining about the length of AEW pay-per-views today, go, like me and Mark were at WrestleMania 35. Like, we know fucking long pay-per-views.
Try watching it in the UK time as well, like going from 11 o'clock until 7 in the morning.
It was so hot when the show started, and it was fucking freezing when it finished as well. Yes. It went from like 22 degrees to about 3. It was nasty. But anyway, so there's that. But what I want to touch on would be my worst AEW match, because it was from my worst period of AEW. It was heading into the first All In at Wembley. I think they were struggling to balance Collision. Yeah. I think there was all the stuff with Punk was leaving quite a dark mark on them at that point. I think it was their most bereft creative period. They hadn't built to All In well. And a couple of weeks before, they had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. And I didn't like the match. I wanted to. I didn't like the match. But then when he comes down with the fucking chainsaw, I was like, this is so Vince WWE. I hated it. It just felt so anti what AEW were. I get there's money. I know I know that money went to charity. I know that, but I'm sitting there watching a show, and this was not a good show. Like, I've had a little look through it to see before it had Darby Allin and Nick Wayne against Gates of Agony, and I don't remember that match, but it's not rated well. And following it, we had Britt Baker and the Bunny in a really badly received match, and then a badly received main event between the Bucks and the Guns. So it was AEW's worst period. I will hold anyone to that. AEW Summer 2023, when CM Punk returned and Collision was there, that was their worst period creatively. They weren't building to pay-per-views properly. Like, everyone was squeezed on the All-In card. All Out the following week was a banging pay-per-view, and probably just kept me in, because at that point I was thinking, I'm kind of bored of it. This match typified it. This was utter dog shit.
I remember not being as like negative towards it as yourself, because like I think because I knew I was going to All In, and I do remember thinking that that the card was a bit thin on the ground, and I do remember thinking that that Punk's not going to last long at this point because of how like sort of disjointed it all felt a little bit. I didn't hate it as much as you, but I mean, quite understandably, it was just one of those ones where it was blatantly like a paid thing that they were just trying to get on somewhere. It was at the behest of WBD or something like that. But those kinds of things I always managed to just take with a pinch of salt and like not try and take them too seriously. But ultimately, it wasn't brilliant. Yeah,
they had
They
had the great blood and guts match on Dynamite about probably 5 weeks before All In. And that was a brilliant one. When the Golden Elite beat on the Blackpool Combat Club, it was a brilliant match. Then it felt that it fell off a cliff then. They then had like a run of very middling Dynamites, and Collision after a few weeks, you're like, it's kind of the same thing every single week. It's an opening segment. It's a few matches with the same people. It's then a big multi-man main event. And it was really repetitive. And it was just not, it just felt they had not thought it through ahead of time, doubling their hours of primetime TV, really. And it just felt that it was becoming a bit of a struggle to watch. And I'm like, this is your biggest show. There's 80,000 people there, and you're just shoehorning everyone onto the card without any reason to care for it. And like, I do believe that I'm happy to have matches on a weekly basis that don't have these massive builds. How are you going to have like 4 hours of TV a week and every match on there is going to have a build? It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. But pay-per-views, matches that don't have a build for me is inexcusable. And this was just a time that I think they were really struggling. All Out the following week was a nice reset for them, with just an incredible show. The pay-per-views were brilliant for the rest of the year. And then they got into 2024 and they found their rhythm again. Some people might not agree with that. They did. 2024, barring probably April, was a brilliant, brilliant year on the whole. Again, autumn maybe had a few weeks when it fell back a bit. It was just a really bad time for me as an AEW fan personally.
Was that when Collision was basically Punk's house party? Like, you were literally just
special little guy show.
Yeah, you were literally just waiting for Neil Morrissey to start cleaning the windows or Mr. Blobby to swan up at one point, because it was weird. It was everything revolved around CM Punk, and it was just bizarre. The fake title, oh, who's at the door now? Oh, it's fucking Bryan Danielson, and like it was just shit, and it was so much better when Bryan Danielson apparently took control when Punk spat his dummy out, and he, they started actually making it more of a wrestling show rather than than some kind of variety show.
The thing is as well is when Dynamite had its sort of identity, if you like, and at the time it was sort of going through a bit of a transition. But Collision, at least to me, it looked different. Like it had a different presentation, and I liked it when Danielson had supposedly. Again, I don't want to speculate. He had the book, and he made it more of like you say, like that sort of gritty, in-your-face kind of wrestling show. And Dynamite was much more of like the entertainment kind of show, if you like. But then now I feel like it's retained a lot of that. Like in 2025, I think Collision's been the best it's ever been. Like certainly since then.
I agree. One other thing I'd say about it as well was that it kind of bled into Rampage. Rampage suffered from it.
Yeah.
Rampage was a decent show, and that was around the time when Rampage started becoming the show where your main event was the Trustbusters against a random 3 people they could find, and that was the same for a good few months, and it was unwatchable at one point. Rampage, it was that bad.
I still miss Rampage. I mean, you can watch it pretty much on NXT now. They're doing it again, but still, it's not the same.
You can always tune in on Tuesday nights to watch Rampage, can't you?
I actually do miss Rampage now because it was good towards the end, but but I also miss Dark, and I feel like the AEW suffered when they lost Dark because that was the perfect way. Like you say, you don't mind the odd matches with no build. Dark was great for that because Dark gave you an ability to still do the rankings, which meant you could have matches with no build because it's a ranking. You're trying to it's a combat sport essentially in kayfabe. Yeah. So your whole point of a match with no build is that you want to beat them to get a next step up to possibly be the challenger against somebody else. Not every match needs a fucking intricate story.
And there was some low key like bangers on Dark. I remember I was at the I went to the Rampage where Punk came back, where debuted at AEW, and it was a dark match before. It was Evil Uno versus QT Marshall, and that was a great match actually. That was a pretty dang like Uno can go. Like that's one thing I can see. Uno can fucking go. Like I mean, I remember that match with him and Moxley where
that was amazing.
Ripped through the mask.
Like,
that was so
you give guys like him and John Silver like chances here and there. They always seem to deliver. But before we move on, there's one match I'm surprised nobody mentioned, like as being like frustrated or mad at, and that's the Billy Gunn and Jay White match. I'm surprised.
I was gonna say that one as well.
Again, I blanked that shit out.
I'm sorry. As far as like an in-ring and just where Jay White was and where Billy Gunn is in this, that might be the most frustrating match that AEW has ever put on, in my opinion.
With Statlander's return face turn. It was the most illogical thing that AEW has done, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, it made. I was watching the thing. That was April 2024. It did feel that again. I feel that maybe TK, maybe AEW, they had a bit of a brain fart after Revolution 2024, and they had a few weeks again. They released the Punk footage, and this was part of that period as well. They definitely had a period when things seemed to be. Again, I think the online perception of things was starting to frustrate them because they were doing good stuff and it was getting negative reviews. It's about that time JD was being clearly paid off to start being really negative, and all the Bischoff stuff was becoming a lot more prominent. So they were clearly taking it personally, and their reactions to it were they didn't react to it well. Let's put it that way. And the Billy Gunn Jay White match, Jesus, what the fuck were they thinking?
What a year makes. What a year makes. You look at April from last year to April now, that I feel like the online perception I think has gotten considerably better. And one thing that I've loved that they have done so far in 2025 is they're doing their show. They're worrying about themselves. There's no more WWE mentions. There's no more shots at Punk. And what's crazy is that you look, if anyone was paying attention to the WrestleMania build, especially with the Punk triple threat with him, Rollins, and Reigns, holy shit. All three of them were taking shots at Tony Khan and AEW. It was AEW and Tony Khan. They should thank them for building up their main event for night one. But like I said, I love the fact that at least Tony Khan and like the management over there, They've learned, they're growing, they're doing their fucking show, especially with all the shit that's happening over there at the other promotion right now. Keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, just book your fucking show. Book your show, worry about what the hell you're doing, because right now, they're doing everything in their what would you guys say? They're own goaling themselves. They're scoring on.
much, yeah.
They're scoring on their
goals,
own
yeah.
goal. It's all unforced fucking errors in what they're doing. Like Nick Khan saying they're the fucking underdog. John Cena saying I still love Vince McMahon. Triple H saying don't fucking criticize me. Like fuck you. You don't fucking don't dictate what the fans should criticize and what they should like. That it's like I'm sure with you guys in with football over there, like you're fans of your favorite club and your favorite team, like you cheer, but you criticize when you see shit that you don't fucking like.
do, right? Yeah.
Just like with me, like with my favorite teams over here, like with baseball, basketball, or football, there are aspects. Obviously, I cheer most of the time, but if I see shit that I don't fucking like here, especially in New York fucking City, we don't care how long the fucking season is. You're doing bad your first fucking week, we will fucking bury you in the goddamn sand. And no superstar that has ever come here in New York City is above fucking criticism. Vince was not above criticism. Triple H is not above fucking criticism. And to all you fans who are licking his boots out there, yeah, don't criticize the product. Like, he's not your fucking dad. Stop being fucking weird, okay? A fan can cheer for whatever they want. They can also criticize. That's what fans do, okay?
It's not just his boots that John Cena's licking, but what I would say is that you talk about the perception at the moment. So, but the reason perception is shifting slightly in AEW's favour, well, not in their favour, but improving for AEW, and it's just because I think people are realising that Triple H he's what Bret Hart said a long time ago. He doesn't have an original idea of his own. The man's a fucking moron.
He does not have
he does not have an. Well, Brett had a rant about this a good few episodes ago, but he does not have an original idea of his own. He's still cooking with, as Brett put it, he's still using Vince's ingredients and Vince's recipes. He has not fucking moved on from any of that, and it's fucking hilarious actually, because it is. He's and The Rock is just sitting back with his pose from his Instagram with his Rubik's cube. Oh, he's gonna buy New Japan. Is he? Fucked? You know what The Rock's doing? He's sitting, working out the puzzle of how to get rid of Triple H, how to fuck him over because of all the shit he did to him when he was younger. Can't wait. Team Rock.
He hasn't forgotten, has he?
That is what's happening right now. Like, if you saw any clips of Rock's interview with McAfee, like where he said, like, it was known well. Like, here's the thing: that a lot of people are letting Triple H off the hook so much because of what the Rock said. Like, you knew months and weeks in advance from Elimination Chamber when the John Cena heel turn. You had 7 weeks. You knew The Rock was not going to be at Mania. You had 7 fucking weeks to build the ending of Cena and Cody. And the best that Triple H can do was Travis Scott taking 20 minutes to walk to the fucking ring and for Cena to low blow Cody, shot with the belt, and that's it. Fuck you, Mr. Booker, a 2 or 3 time Booker of the Year. Like Andy said, like, he doesn't have an original fucking thought. And like I said, all of his bootlicking fans right now are trying to, like, just let him off easy. Like, oh, The Rock should have been there. But yeah, The Rock should have been there. He should have never inserted himself, in my opinion. But guess what? He was called because ticket sales weren't doing good at Chamber.
What about this?
Yeah, all this and this, it didn't mean jack shit when they did it.
All the fans, Dr. Rock held 2 things up. That means there's one more. There's one more coming. There was nothing. The Rock's playing 4D chess, lads. He wants rid of fucking Triple H. That's it.
You're gonna see a lot of that shit start playing out more in the open. The shit behind the scenes between Triple H and The Rock, because that's the end goal for The Rock.
And there's only ever going to be one fucking winner. And the funny thing is, like I said this last year, why the fuck do you think Triple H is making the show all about him opening the fucking first Raw in the middle of the ring, opening WrestleMania? It's because he wants to give off this illusion that he's irreplaceable, that he is Raw, he is SmackDown, he is WWE. He's not.
Yeah, for an hour at the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Fucking.
Hold up,
Jesus.
The speech was an hour here. I think it started at 1, like almost at 1 in the morning here at Eastern Standard Time. So remember, an hour speech. He closed the show, and here's a key part: all the people would think he never mentioned The Rock's name.
Someone put a list on Twitter there the day of all the shit that Triple H did that The Rock will rightfully be angry about, and there's a hell of a lot more. I didn't realize half the shit that he did when The Rock was young.
Could you link me to this?
Fucking hell!
I really want to find this.
I'll see if I can find it. And send it. Yeah, but there was loads of stuff like Triple H apparently not in Vince's ear telling him not to strap The Rock at the time when he was young, and there was one like something slagging his ma off or something like that as well at one point. There's loads. There's a big list of it, and I forgot.
He's a really unpleasant person. There's no two ways about that. He's a thoroughly unpleasant individual.
And somebody commented saying, "Do you think The Rock's really bothered about all that? He's so successful. Why would he care?" And then someone else replied with, "The man still bangs on about the time when he had $7 in his pocket. Of course he's going to fucking remember that. He holds on to things, The Rock. And I can't wait. It's going to be so fucking good."
He did have those $7 in his pocket and whatnot. He was not in a good place when Triple H was trying to hold him down. He was not a rich person at this point.
No.
I don't know what his salary would have been, but WWE had those ridiculous contracts that weren't really contracts back then, so he had no job security. He's fighting for his family, for his future at this point. There's not a pot to piss in at this point.
No, his dad hasn't been recognised to the level he should have been.
He's also got more sway in the company anyway, because he's higher on the TKO.
He's a
TKO shareholder.
There's only going to be one winner.
Yeah,
There's only ever going to be one winner.
Yeah.
Because, what does Triple H have that The Rock doesn't have? The stench of the fucking McMahons. You fucking want to wipe out all of this fucking shit. You just fucking wipe him clean and let The Rock put his own team in there, which is what I think will happen.
Yeah, it will be him, Rock and, was it Gerwitz? Brian Gerwitz? They'll take over. Whether Punk gets NXT, I don't know, but Gerwitz will be the head honcho. Like Rock will make all the decisions. Gerwitz will run all the creative.
Involved from a distance. He's not going to get in the weeds because he's got too much other stuff that's more lucrative to him that he can be doing. He'll probably rubber stamp certain things, or he'll say he'll
put his team in there.
Things, but
It'll be him and Ari Emanuel calling all the fucking shots essentially at that level.
I can't wait.
You mentioned Punk and NXT. Punk probably sees this as and to be fair, it's quite a clever thing for him to do because he probably sees this as a realistic chance. Because when Triple H goes, Shawn Michaels fucking, who's going to be batting for him when he goes? Because I'm sure Shawn Michaels has a lot of fucking people who'd love to stab him in the back if they get the chance.
That as much of a bitch as Triple H ever was back then, Shawn Michaels was 10 times.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you watch that fucking the Chris Candido episode of Dark Side of the Ring, they shed a lot of light on how much of a horrible fucking scumbag he was there. Fuck him. Fucked a lot of him.
Yeah, Jesus might have forgiven him, but The Rock fucking won't.
Honestly,
and after
I've got to be honest as well.
They did as well.
No, that was shocking. I've seen bits of that, but I've got to be honest. I just say as well, the only thing that gets me to watch the Fed at this point is when The Rock's on, and I will find the clips of what he's doing because it's the fucking Rock. So if anyone's going to fucking get me to actually have a look at what they're doing, it's The Rock. So
the Cody ahead of WrestleMania last year was genuinely great TV.
It was
fucking brilliant stuff.
And I'll moan about a 40-minute segment, but if it's The Rock in the ring with a guitar for 40 minutes, I'm fucking glued. Sorry, it was excellent.
I mean, remember all the Rock concerts back in 2003 when it was Hollywood Rock? You could not take your eyes off it was so fucking good. But you know what, guys? I think we need to hold an impromptu funeral on this episode for our good old friend called Kayfabe. Because Kayfabe was holding on.
It's dead. We don't have to piss on its grave. Come on.
No, there is no grave. It's in the center of the earth right now. That's where the casket is for Kayfabe. Whatever thin little string that Kayfabe was holding onto, it's over. If you guys have not heard, over WrestleMania weekend, there's a new Netflix documentary coming out. It's called the WWE Unreal. So I bring that up because remember last year at Revolution, you had one of the actresses from Queen of the Ring, Damaris Lewis, I think her name was. Now it was a quick little interview she had with Tony Schiavone between matches. She just mentioned this, and it wasn't even really the context what she meant. She said, "You're professional wrestlers. You know you're gonna win before you go out there." A quick little clip. It was taken out of context, but of course, all the anti-AEW brigade took that and ran with it. Like AEW's killing the business. They're killing kayfabe. They have no respect for the business. And now over WrestleMania weekend, we see the trailer for WWE Unreal where they are taking you into the writers' room, to the fucking writers' room. You see all the whiteboards with all the matches planned out for Mania. And all the shows throughout the week, all the shots of Gorilla, all the clips of Triple H like in Gorilla, like going over promos and video packages, all the talent. This man has just pretty much unalived. He is Triple H in his two years running WWE has done everything to kill kayfabe. But like I said, his
Started with a curtain call, and now we're here.
the curtain call, and it's
I
made
love
its
that,
way
actually.
full circle to 2025. They are literally there is no more curtain to pull back anymore. They burnt that son of a bitch to the ground. But you won't hear jack shit because it's all about the 3-letter promotion that's doing the bullshit right now. An actress from Hollywood who's not even in the business, disrespectful to the business. The man head of creative of the biggest wrestling promotion in the world doing this. And once again, who's the fucking star of this documentary? Triple H. It's his show. And like Andy said, he wants to show everyone, the board members, everyone in WWE, that he is irreplaceable, that you cannot get rid of him. It's just a big ego stroke for him. It's just his bootlickers giving him the 5-knuckle shuffle, like praise be the Triple H, praise be the big nosed messiah that is Paul Levesque.
And let's face it, the actress that got a big slating over that wasn't even what she meant anyway. It was taken way out of context. She meant the mentality of someone competing at the highest level have to believe that they've already won. She did not mean, oh, they've wrote it for me, so I've already won it. That was a fucking joke, the way people ran with that. Because people who should have known better ran with that. Some of the really big accounts and dirt sheet writers, they should have, they were harsh there going in on them with that. It was a disgrace.
Well, speaking of someone who isn't a disgrace, me and Lucy are going to go, I'm doing a subtle plug here just to finish us off. We are going to go and do, hopefully catch a lot of great matches and people who aren't licking Triple H's balls at the Electric Ballroom on Sunday the 5th of May and Monday the 6th of May. I'm only there for the Sunday, but Lucy, how great does Super Strong Style 16 look? I mean, my God.
Yeah, if you don't already know, the Super Strong Style 16 is on Sunday and Monday, Electric Ballroom, Camden, Progress Wrestling. I'll be there both days. Dan, you're just the Sunday.
Just the Sunday for me, yeah.
Come and see us if you're there. I'll be giving bracelets away and booing Tate Mayfairs.
I'll be cheering Tate Mayfairs. He got a great reception last time we were there.
No, I know. He's fooling everyone.
He's the most legitimate champion in wrestling right now. So I'm sorry, you cannot boo greatness.
I am still gonna try and ask him why he's trying to ban death matches when actually he had a death match against Eddie Dennis, and I need to find out what his ulterior motive is because this doesn't right.
There's a bit of a difference between going in a bit hard and bleeding and smashing light tubes into someone's neck.
Oh, when he suplexed, I think it was a suplex. He suplexed Eddie onto some glass or some thumbtacks. It was a bit of a glee in his eye, and I think that's not the look of a man. That's not the look of a man who wants to ban death matches. I'm gonna chat to you, Tate.
No, Tate Mayfairs is a bad lad. He's got you all fooled. Dan, is there a cat behind you?
I've got 4 of them, so probably, but yeah.
That we are not seeing for some reason right now.
Well, you probably can't, but
he is. Okay.
He's just hiding. That's the one who you met. That's the one who you met a couple of weekends ago.
I thought it was this out of date beer, to be honest, but yeah.
I was hallucinating. Out of date Mexican beer. All right.
But no, Super Strong Style 16 looks great. It should be a cracking show. Watch it on Triller Plus if you can. I'd recommend it. And try and look for us. We'll be on the balcony. Yes. The ballroom's not like a massive venue, but it's more for like small rock concerts and stuff like that. But there's a balcony where if you're looking at like the ringside cameras when they pan it upwards where all the flags are, we'll be there like probably flipping Tate Mayfairs off if you're Lucy, or flipping G Money off if you're me, because that's what I did last time, and I had to apologise to him. I'll be cheering Kid Lycos, that's for sure, and Leon Slater.
Did you guys do
Simon Miller in it too?
Simon Miller is in it as well.
Did you guys do the thing where they asked on Twitter where you freeze it on the animated GIF and pick your 2 finalists?
Yes, I did.
Who did you get?
I should remember this. Mine was I know Leon was in it. Leon Slater was in it. And it was Simon Miller. It was Leon and Simon. And I've got to cheer for my bald brethren. I mean, I am bald. I mean, I'm wearing a hat, but so just to prove. Look, I am bald, right? I'm not making this shit up.
You suit being bald, dude. You suit being bald.
Thank you.
I'm not.
Bald adjacent.
I'm gonna I'm going to be cheering on Simon Miller. If he's in the final, I'm going to cheer him on all the way. We've got us follically challenged brethren got to stick together.
I would
That's true. I
cheer
might
Simon Miller
agree.
on, even though I'm not bald, because I've got a full head of hair under this mask, long flowing locks.
A luxury mullet.
Yeah, it's
They
kind
get
of
more than
like
mine.
Jarrett in his prime.
Okay, well,
Just very quickly.
oh, go on. I'm
Well,
just going to take that GIF, you know, the thing where you have to stop it and who you got was the finalist. I got fucking Tate Mayfair's twice.
Well,
Well,
that's a
happening.
He's
sign.
beating the shit out of himself. But I also want to say that I will be bringing this guy. If you were to talk about Simon Miller, it is signed by the man himself.
There he is.
What?
If he's losing, we'll have the angry precipice. But if he wins, we'll bring it out. We'll bring
Simon,
out
we love
the
you,
boy.
but I'm sorry if Tate Mayfair's has come out twice.
Yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm not going.
Oh, well.
I got Lycos and Man.
If Conan slashes your tires again, then he won't. Yeah, then you can't
Yeah,
go.
probably
Can you?
will.
Told you it's a
Maybe
pentacle.
he's saying
Or
fucking
he's-
Disco Inferno. He's doing nothing else. No, I got Man Like
Smell.
Reese and Kid Lycos. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
two fantastic
lovely.
guys. The problem is the entire lineup for that tournament is insane. So there's no one I actually wouldn't like to see win it. It's a proper fence sitting tournament though.
Exactly. And we're going to be spoiled on like the Sunday itself is just going to be full of like, because you don't know. Am I right in saying you don't know who's going to fight who? They just come out and it's just all a complete surprise.
I don't think they give you brackets, do they?
No, they
No.
don't know.
But we
So-
do know that on the Sunday as well, we do have Nina Samuels against Riho for the Progress Women's title, which should be an
Rio.
absolute, should
Yeah.
be an absolute banger. But
Isn't that
yeah,
potentially Rio's last match, though?
could be. She said, if I don't beat Nina, I'm going to walk away. Which
I think she
well,
wins because I don't think the Fed are clever enough to take her.
It'd be insane not to snap Rio up. She is incredible.
I don't
Same
think
with
they know.
Derice.
The
I
thing
don't
is,
think they
I
know
want,
what good
I want
talent is.
Nina to win as well. I like both of them.
I
Yeah.
love
then-
Nina, but
But then when you see that talent pool that they gave tryouts to, you couldn't pick anyone who you would say isn't good enough. So it's
was
just a
I
case of
absolutely
yeah,
Rio,
you know, Ryan Leverkusen was in there as well. Luke Jacobs, it was just a pool of
No,
fantastic
look at
talents.
Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, God. Do you know what? I would love to see Luke Jacobs go to Japan. I
If
think
anyone was
yes.
made for a
Oh,
promotion,
God,
Luke
yes.
Jacobs was made for New Japan.
Oof,
yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
In a heartbeat,
Um,
absolutely.
Is he in the he's in the Super Strong Style?
No, because he's the champion. So he's fighting Cara.
He
He's fighting
won
Cara
it
Noir
Yes,
from
on
winning-
yes,
the Monday.
yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
He won last year's Super Strong Style.
yeah.
That's
No,
who
sorry,
won the belt, wasn't it? Yeah.
I,
How we got,
I forgot
you
he was
forgot
fighting
Cara
Cara Noir.
Noir.
Yeah,
my
Which should
my
be
boy
what should be a
Cara.
cracker. Should be an absolute banger.
the lineup looks fantastic. To be honest, it looks like a fucking great show. I'll be watching it on trailer because I
Cannot
can't be
wait.
arsed trekking to London. But
We will
yeah.
wave to you.
Yes, we'll.
So yeah, anyone
yeah.
who's going to be at Progress at the Electric Ballroom this weekend, Sunday, Monday, come and say hello.
Yeah, please do. Yes, we will. Lucy will give you a bracelet. I'll probably just give you a high five, and I might let you slap my head if I'm feeling generous enough.
He will let you slap his head. I promise.
Well, yeah. I mean that flew by. So, any last final thoughts for what should be a fun week of wrestling before we go home?
Brandon
Dynamite,
Cutler,
like-
nothing else.
Yeah,
No
just
so
thoughts
a
in my
scared
head
of
except for
Dynamite.
Brandon.
I know
You're so
I'm going to be the
of
same.
course, yeah.
I'm going to be wearing
I'm
my
so
my
scared.
shitting pants on Wednesday because it's
should be a
going to
quality match,
Yeah,
though.
no, I am. Like
But-
it could all go so wrong. It really could.
No,
It could.
It won't go wrong. It
no-
won't. They're not gonna. They're
there's
not gonna fuck this up. Hangman Page is winning
Yes.
the world title at All In.
What?
Hangman Page is gonna win this match. It's gonna
No.
be beautiful. Hangman's winning.
Yes.
Also, we have the greatest babyface four-person team of all time.
Yeah.
This tag match is fucking brilliant.
There's already
Yes,
people
it's so
complaining
good.
about it on Twitter. It's fucking brilliant.
Hang on.
Why are they
Bloody arse,
wrestling?
man,
Why
idiots.
didn't they do a promo? Was
Yeah.
one I saw. I was like,
And-
sometimes wrestlers like
and
to
it's
have a
gonna-
bit of a
Because
wrestle.
it's fucking AEW. That's why.
No, like wrestling clues in the fucking title.
And it's gonna be.
I would like to see one of those backstage things they did a few weeks ago when Briscoe and Knight were on the same team. Just there's those three with Kenny and Mark Briscoe just going off on an absolute rant with Kenny next to him would be beautiful. But I mean, this is a proper superstar matchup. This is
man.
This is it's so good. Like there's 2 matches announced, but this is like honestly I just can't wait. Paige Fletcher in this 8-man tag. Fucking hell.
Not to go back to our double or nothing preview there, but like I was thinking while we've been talking, what if the Elite interfering Ospreay Hangman, if that is the final? thinking they're helping Hangman. That would set up a Ospreay aligning himself even more with Kenny Omega, which would give Ospreay more of a direction than he's got at the moment.
So
it's that.
It's not a bad idea, but this match is like
I just want Hangman to win. So whatever happens, I don't know.
I mean, he's gonna win.
I'm thinking of a million ways Hangman can win without fail.
I don't think Ospreay's winning at all. Like I think he's going to go out in a.
Screw it. I'm going to
raise Hangman's hand at the end. Yeah. But it's the first time Kenny and Okada have been in the ring since 2018. Like
2018, yeah, man.
Size. That is huge for someone who fell back in love with wrestling thanks to New Japan. Like after Jeff Hardy,
Do you want them to interact? Do you want them?
Yes.
No, I don't.
I want them.
How about this? Like, so it's an 8-man tag. Like they'll each get the tag. They'll do the slow walk to the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
You get the crowd going, holy shit! And then guess what? It's 8-man. So guess what? Everyone's gonna come. Is gonna be a complete mosh pit in the middle. They won't touch. They're just gonna have that stare down in the middle of the ring. I don't want them to touch. Just get that reaction of the crowd, and then, like I said, everyone else involved just comes in and it's a fucking melee. Spills out to the outside, and then we get two other guys.
It's exactly that. I could 100%. I agree.
And the one thing I want for Wednesday more than anything, and this is just something that last Wednesday was mentioned, and it really fucking angered me. In fact, this has probably angered me more than any match that you guys will have been angry about. Was when the Hurt Syndicate pointed out that every tag team they've faced hasn't been on TV. Where are the fucking Outrunners? Bring them back. I missed the Outrunners on TV.
So they were on Collision.
Collision.
They were on
Collision.
No, I want them back in. I want them back in the fucking tag titles situation.
Yes.
Bring the Outrunners back.
Yes, more Outrunners.
I'm not on about they've got a match. I want it to be in a full-on fucking feud, a full-on angle, focus of the show like they were for a while. Give me the Outrunners every single fucking episode.
Every week. Every fucking week.
Every episode, please, Tony Khan. We love the Outrunners. They were massively popular.
I mean,
and the Young Bucks clearly like the Outrunners, so why not?
Yes.
Young Bucks, pull some of your fucking EVP strings, lads. Get the Outrunners back in the fucking.
Do you?
Well, on that cheerful note,
join together and beat up Baxcaster.
we will love you and leave you on our jet skis.
The Outrunners aren't losing every week.
No, they will be. Oh. All right.
We will love you and leave you on our bright jet skis and our fanny packs, and wish you fantastic.
I very, very, very quickly pull a name out of this?
Well, yes, of course. I'm
because
sorry.
I was shamelessly begging people to vote for us in a poll that is currently going on. If you haven't seen it,
We're down to the last 8.
We're down to the last 8. We just beat Renee Paquette. I'm sorry, Renee.
Love you, Renee, but yeah.
But we've also beaten quite a few people. Colt Cabana, Boom Boom Bitch.
Does he still do a podcast, Renee?
Renee does, yeah.
I haven't seen it for ages. Like
not for a while. But AEW is still in it, so if we get them, we're screwed.
Yeah.
All right.
Well.
And I offered bracelets to people who showed proof of voting for us. I put all the names in here. Say stop, guys. Somebody. Okay, I got.
Mr. S. Lawton.
5, I think. Mr. 5 Lawton. Oh, it's J Alpha Prime. I will message you. And
amazing.
I will ask you what you want and where you want them sending. What do I offer to get us through the next round, guys? What
did you offer? Was it a bracelet of some kind?
I offered 3 bracelets for this one, but I need something to offer for the next.
4 bracelets.
Fucking hell, Mark.
Your Brandon Cutler tracksuit.
Precious.
It's old now. Yep. Like it's gone. It's
a gimmick now. He's not using it. It's mine.
You need to offer a custom Jazzwares Dragon Brandon Cutler figure.
One of 300.
Yeah.
I get my hands on that.
Signed by Brandon Cutler.
All right, I'll think of something. But yeah, thank you. That was all I wanted.
Yes. We love you and leave you. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for joining us again and listening to our inane ramblings. But yeah, we will see you soon. And check out this week. We're also going to have a special episode, so just stay tuned on the socials. We'll announce something. We will keep you informed as soon as we know more. But until then, have a great week and take care.
Bye.